What is going on, eaters and feeders? To my Earth 2 enthusiasts, novice, and everyone in between, this will not be about Earth 2, so don't feel the need to stick around unless you want to learn about the meal prep business, because that is what this live stream, video, broadcast, whatever we want to call it, that is what this is going to be for. Now, I'm going to be discussing a Forbes article I was reading today. I was like, man, I should do a video on this. And instead of doing the recording and editing and all that jazz, I wanted to just pump this one out. Now, earlier today, another video for the meal prep audience went live, and that was the number 3 of 4 interview series that I did with Tom Orlandi from Craving Time. Hopefully you guys had a chance to check that out. It wasn't super formal, like we do discuss meal prep stuff, but I like getting personal with the entrepreneur and getting behind the scenes kind of story with them. So check that out. There's one more coming on the 17th, and then I will be doing some more interviews with you, you meal preppreneurs, as I like to call it, preppreneurs. I thought that was pretty clever. I thought so. So I invite you guys to check out the links in the show notes. One of those links will be an interview link where I will get some information about you. We'll try to schedule some time in my extremely busy schedule to, set aside some time to learn a little bit about you, share it with other meal preppers, as well as potential audience, because obviously, my video is not to promise anything substantial. You're not going to, skyrocket from some people seeing me on YouTube talking to you. But I do think that business owners having a company, or let me pause. Customers would like to know more about business owners, and the more prevalent the business owners can be, the more present they can seem in the company. Even if you don't talk to every single one of your customers, I think it fosters more of a feeling of connection and loyalty, and you're more likely to get referrals and have your story shared by your customers with their friends, family, coworkers, and everybody else, because people love telling stories, them learning about the business owner and behind the business that they're spending their money with. Like I said, it fosters loyalty. So plus I like talking to you guys. I like getting the chance when I can to learn about your businesses, and especially about you as individuals, because I think entrepreneurs are, everyone is special, but I vibe with entrepreneurs. Obviously we've, we share a lot of the same struggles, and we've been through a lot of the same things. And I just like connecting on that level. But let's talk about this Forbes article. So Forbes, if you guys don't know what Forbes is, you're living under a rock, because everyone knows what Forbes is. They talk business, they talk success, and let's get into the article. Let me flip over to the other screen so I can see it. So this article is about basically the delivery industry and the predictions for 2021 and moving forward. And this is, again, in Forbes. I was just reading this today. So this is hot off the presses. 2020 was unusual, however. Like any year, it does help inform the one that follows. At OnFleet, we have witnessed this story through told data trends produced in our last mile delivery software business. By the way, guys, if you are interested in getting some help with your delivery, let me switch back for a second. One of the links in the show notes, I've got a bunch in there, but one of them, I will be doing another video on delivery. That's kind of why I wanted to do this. I didn't want to fit them into the same video, but I do have delivery solutions for you guys. So basically, I've connected with a company who has been specializing in doing outsourced delivery for meal prep businesses for the last several years. I actually originally connected with them through Fit Food Fresh, my meal prep business, and reconnected because we do our delivery in-house. We're large enough. I've mentioned before, just to skim over it very quickly, this is related because we are discussing delivery. When we started off, it made sense to have delivery in-house. We did the delivery. At a certain point, you're managing all these delivery drivers. It becomes like its own business. It's its own headache. And unless you have someone who can focus on that, it's better to outsource it. Then when it grows to another level, we saw the money that we're paying couriers to, handle these deliveries. We had a guy who was in-house. He was actually one of our first delivery drivers who we were able to hire. after myself. I was the first delivery driver, but one of the first gentlemen to help us out, a gentleman named Harold. Maybe I'll do an interview with Harold. I've been wanting to do an interview with Harold for quite some time. But Harold, he's like 18-year-old kid when he started working with us. Huge amount of hustle in this dude, and he was working like 3 jobs when he was first started with us. And we got Harold a position as basically our logistics manager. We promoted him, and we brought the logistics, the delivery back in-house. Now, at different levels of your business, as that illustrates, it makes sense to have it in-house, have it out-house, have someone else do it. And a lot of you guys, I think, may be hindered by some of the mistakes that may be made. Maybe you're doing the deliveries yourself still because it's hard to hire and train and do the routes and all that jazz. So I know, I know how much of a headache that is, and that is the last yard. If the delivery is not done correctly, you will forego everything else that you put into that service. The ads, everything from the ads that you purchased, to the sales efforts, to the food that you bought, the labor that went into the food, everything is for nothing if the delivery is not done correctly. And you might lose that customer. So it costs you a great deal of money, more than just the food that you have to throw away or comp or whatever. So delivery is extremely sensitive. This company's been doing an amazing job. They've been around for years. They're experts at it. And I did my due diligence. I reached out to several companies that have been using them. Some have been using him for years, or them. Some have been using them for years. Some have only been with them a few months, but all of them had nothing but amazing things to say. Some of them are doing hundreds of orders a week. Some are just doing a few dozen orders a week. But he's able to accommodate. They're able to accommodate. I keep on saying he because I spoke to one person there. I keep on referring back to him. But they are able to accommodate for anyone, and they're all over the country too. So check out that form below. I will get you more information on that. But let's get into this. Also, obviously the software, the links for the free software and all that jazz is there below as well. I don't know how long some of you have been following me, or if you know all my jazz. I kind of skipped my intro, but let's get back into this. We saw the delivery of flowers and gifts decrease, but then escalate as the pandemic went on past the summer. We noticed that desserts and novelties were the most popular in the middle of the year. We noted that cannabis delivery increased early in the pandemic, but stayed mostly flat after that. We witnessed B2B food delivery take a big drop, and it hasn't recovered. Meanwhile, we watched grocery delivery increase early and continue to grow through the year, though not as much as restaurant delivery. So B2B, just so you guys don't know, you guys are probably thinking food delivery. Wait, that's bad. That's I do food delivery. No, this is B2B, business to business food delivery. So this is like a restaurant purchasing food from, well, I keep on referring to Cheney, but Cheney's really only Cheney Brothers Industries or whatever. It's a food company down here. But you guys probably familiar with Cisco and US Foods. We use them as well. And Cheney's just my go-to for some reason. But B2B means restaurants getting food. Well, obviously B2B took a massive drop because restaurants were being shut down, unfortunately. And we all know why. I'm going to try not to use any of those buzzwords that get people censored on social media. But we know what happened in 2020. We know why B2B food delivery dropped. But we know that, as they mentioned here, restaurant picks up. Now, I don't believe they mentioned meal prep specifically in this article. I started skimming through it and I started reading it, and then I didn't really even skim through the rest. I was like, I got shit there, so I'm just going to go live. So I'm reading it with you guys. But restaurant delivery, I would say that would be correlative with grocery delivery and meal prep delivery. So I'd assume that meal prep delivery increased as much, if not more, than grocery delivery and restaurant delivery. So restaurants being shut down hurt the B2B food delivery, but obviously this consumer end of it, as they say at the end here, is a little misleading. When I first read that, I wasn't thinking the B2B distinction. So I was like, oh, that's weird, but now it makes sense. All right, sorry for the ramble. With 2021 upon us, it's a good time to reflect. From OnFleet's position partnering with leading retailers, big and small, here's what I expect in the coming year. So this is from the CEO of OnFleet, which is one of the logistics softwares that is out there. We've used On Fleet, and then WorkWave is another one. I've also got planned a review of both On Fleet and WorkWave, and potentially another one to go over all the features, benefits, and who I think is the best right now. But I got to see who's updated what. So number one, consumers COVID, I don't even want to say that word. Consumers blah, blah, era behaviors changes are permanent. So people have found this new convenience of having food brought to them. I don't think that's going to go back. The only people that you'd really expect to lose through, the shutdowns and everything from a meal prep business's perspective were the people who were being economically impacted, i.e. they lost their job and they can no longer afford to meal prep. Or we also had people who were just working from home and they're like, I've got a ton of time because my boss doesn't know I'm actually not doing a whole lot of work. So we're cooking and whatever else. That made sense. But honestly, we even got a lot of those people back because let's be honest, cooking isn't always fun. And it might be a cool little novelty to do once or twice a week. But a lot of people lose that steam if they're not used to cooking for every single meal, every single day. You will get them back very quickly. You just have to constantly remind them of how much easier you make their lives. But in any case, what they're saying is, those changes are permanent. People didn't know about. There are people who didn't know what a meal prep business was, or they thought it was too healthy for them. They thought it was for a bodybuilder or something like that. And now after last year, after kind of being forced into using meal prep services, they are now going to be, obviously more open to it. They might switch from meal prep to a meal prep, but there are people, mark my words, who will not go back to whatever they were doing in 2019. They might switch. They might leave your meal prep if you don't take care of them. But there are people who are not going back to cooking because they found this new thing and they're like, oh, wow. So meal preps still do baked ziti and some lasagna every once in a while. So it's not just rabbit food. Like a lot of people had that connotation in their head. Let's see, we got a question here. Will a second wave of the word we shall not mention affect the meal prep business? So my experience, and from all of the meal prep businesses who I work with and consult and have connections with, everyone I knew is bigger now than they were going into this. Some companies did experience drops. Like if you're a larger company, we dropped at the first onset because we had this shift of we had new people coming in because they're afraid of shopping and they couldn't get food anywhere else. And we had no problem with our food supply. That was one thing. People were like, oh, where are you guys getting food? It's like, dude, all the restaurants are shut down. We're getting our food purveyors are giving us crazy deals because they have food sitting in refrigerators that they can't move and it's expiring. It's going bad. We had some of the craziest, most expensive proteins and items on our menu. We were getting organic stuff super cheap. All of our stuff turned to super high quality. We were doing filet mignon and we were doing some lobster. Made some awesome lobster ravioli. I'm not a huge lobster fan. I don't not like it, but I never oh, let me get some lobster. We had some amazing lobster. Like I said, filet mignon, pompano barramundi, moonfish, all sorts of stuff, and then organic vegetables. So as far as our supply, that was never hindered. We're also an essential business. So we didn't miss 1 week. We didn't miss one order. We did not shut down for a second. We were very afraid that might be something that would happen. We didn't know going into this. No one did. But as soon as we realized that we were in the exception, and I've mentioned this in other videos, I felt this pressure. I felt like we, were on the Titanic and we ended up as being one of the very few fortunate souls who ended up on a life raft. So then I immediately looked at this as, okay, we're on a life raft now. We've got to get as many of these people out of the proverbial water as possible. So we started donating food and really pushing back into the community, helping as much as we could. And but as far as how I think it will affect the business, it's going to be like before. I think people are going to be more prepared. We're expecting this wave. We're expecting it to be worse. Hopefully that will help mitigate it, and hopefully that'll help make it so it's not worse, because it's not like the contractability is changing to the point where doing the things that we know work won't work anymore. It's not like it's now going through your walls, and it's not like it's, you know, permeating everything. So the game is very much still the same. The rules still apply, and the effects that it will have on this industry, I think, are going to be very similar to what we experienced last year. Good question, though. All right, sorry, I got to keep switching to screens. Let me figure out an easier way to do this. Put you there. There we go. Okay, so now I can read it and share it with you guys. All right, well, customers are craving a return to normalcy. The word that we won't mention, accelerated an already rising digital economy. These changes are market-wide and not merely temporary. Next year, expect more demand for delivery and witness the shift into ushering permanent, here-to-stay behavior trends. Now, you guys, I got another video that I think I did in November talking about, I mean, I've got a few videos that kind of relate to this. This is the year of the gold rush. This is the year of the meal prep gold rush. What I mean by that is if you're looking to get into the meal prep business, or you're already in it, this is the best year because it has been tried, tested, and proven in 2020. It's an essential business. More people are getting hip to it than ever before. A myriad of reasons, but also in November, I did a video on the acquisition of Freshly by Nestle. Nestle is the world's largest provider of, I think, food and beverage. At least the country's largest, or the continent's largest. They're massive. Everyone knows Nestle, and you're just thinking candy bars. They do water and everything in between. So Nestle bought Freshly for a deal that's worth $1.5 billion. All right, Freshly, if you don't know, largest meal prep business in the U.S. right now. Well, I don't know if they're the largest. They're one of the largest. I don't know. I don't know the true numbers on some of the other companies, but yeah. So this will be the gold rush year, and this article just further illustrates that, which AKA is just proving me right, which I always love. My ego loves that. Customers will expect more from the delivery experience. Fans don't go to concerts merely for live music. They pay for presentation, atmosphere, and experience. As delivery continues to accelerate, expect leaders in every industry to find ways to satisfy their customers with high-quality delivery experience. Just as leading musicians or chefs are thinking about how to deliver a premium encounter, successful retailers in every area will find innovative ways to deliver a unique experience. Main Street will revitalize. Now, you guys, I'm sure you're familiar with the analogy of Main Street versus Wall Street. You know, Main Street is where they talk about, you know, the you, me, the everyday working man. So that's what Main Street is referring to. They're saying that people will be coming back to work. Those who will be coming back to work are going to be getting back on their meal plans. They're going to be knowing more about the meal plans that their coworkers are on, and everybody who's become an advocate for the meal plans and meal prep companies through this last year is going to be sharing that experience and eating this food next to other people. So this is just going to be like, I've got so many friends who are in restaurants, and my heart goes out to them. And I'm not saying restaurants are never going to, they're not going to exist in the future, but restaurants are going to have to fight to justify. Restaurants are going to have to convince people to come out now, more so than ever. It's going to have to be more of an event, just like they're just alluding to in this this article about the delivery experience having to be upped. That will be part of your whole product, your whole service. It will be the delivery experience. But restaurants will also have to provide more of an experience than just like, here's some food. Wave me down when you need a drink. I was at a place last night with my fiance. This isn't a new concept. Some of you guys probably have this in your city. This place has been around for a while. There's another one down the street that's like this. There's a brewery like this, but this is a wine place that it was a restaurant, or it is a restaurant, but their primary like attraction is the fact that the place is shaped like you're on the inside of a wine barrel. And then they've got machines all along the walls and all over the place that have, you just put in a little card and you pour yourself a wine, and you're able to try all these different wines from all over the world, and it shows you the price. And there's like the most expensive wine bottle, by the way, because that's what everybody looks for. The most expensive was $80 for one glass of wine. Didn't try that one, but that was a cool experience. It was something novel. Restaurants are going to have to start doing that. I've mentioned, I think in another video, there's a restaurant, there's probably a few restaurants like these, but my buddy especially was really keen to this tapas restaurant in New York and this is back in like 2018 that he went here, but this is still showing you the trend that was accelerated by 2020. The restaurant does tapas, and they do these really extravagantly plated items where like the Swedish meatball is like hanging like a disco ball, and the plate has these lights on it, and it has this structural contraption and everything. Why? Well, I can get food delivered to me now. I can, I don't have to go out to eat it. So now you have to convince me to come out. Now more so than ever, you really have to convince people to come out, and they're going to want, millennials especially, millennials are really keen to experiences. They're really keen to a personalized feeling in their experience. I was watching, my sister was interning at the Hilton. She's a chef, and she was interning at the Hilton, one of the Hilton's properties, and they are discussing how in their branding strategy, millennials want you to like know who they are and kind of ideally know a little bit about them. So when they go to the hotel concierge, you're going to recommend they check out the surf camp, at the beach or something like that. Or they're going to recommend, oh, I know you have an interest in art. You might want to check out the Boca Raton Museum of Art. It's right here in Meisner, and you take these directions, whatever else. They want that personal experience where it feels like it's catered to them. The restaurants are going to have to do some kind of a show. Like they're going to have to do something that is going to make me want to whip out my phone and check in and take a picture and share it with my friend, which is also good branding. So if you're able to make now how do we apply that to delivery? Let's get to what you guys want to hear. So not only will the delivery have to be awesome and very accurate and, very consistent, but also maybe your packaging, maybe your branding, maybe a little cute. It doesn't take much. It doesn't have to take a lot of money. But even if you were to do something a little bit more clever with how you screen print your bags, off the top of my head, one thing that you can do is you could put a clear insert on your bag, your delivery bag. So like we use these coolers. You guys can check out my other videos on those. I won't grab one, but do a clear insert pocket, and then you can put little insert postcards or whatever promotions you're running right there. Maybe something where, hey, take a picture of your delivery bag, like a little message, take a picture of your delivery bag. Every delivery day, Monday and Thursday is what we deliver, and you'll be entered into a chance to win this or something like that. Something to make it an extension of your efforts to provide higher level of service, bring in more money, i.e. marketing or promotion or something like that. Something more than just a utilitarian purpose of like, I had to bring this from here to here and now it's done. Look at the opportunity in that, because all the other companies are going to be doing that. And I will continue to give you guys my ideas on it. I do want to get through this article, but make sure you're subscribed. You're checking out the notes before and below. We'll probably mention this stuff in the mastermind group and discuss this stuff. And I really want to get into this stuff and help you guys accelerate. So Main Street will revitalize. Historically, delivery was the domain of big players. Times have changed with customers now. Let me make sure I switched over. I didn't. Let me make sure it's big enough for you guys. Sorry. With customers now realizing that e-commerce juggernauts like Amazon don't do everything well. Oh, sorry, that was the end of the sentence. Sorry. As more small and medium-sized businesses take on their own delivery solutions, expect a customer shift toward local favorites, old and new. Everyone's asking me, well, how am I going to compete with this bigger company in my area? Or how am I going to compete with Freshly, who's massive and they're nationwide? Listen, McDonald's is everywhere. Has that stopped? I'm sure you've got a local burger place that probably charges more than McDonald's. Did they stop and go, but someone already sells burgers in the city? How can I possibly compete with them? They're everywhere and they're cheaper. It doesn't matter. Just do what you do better and people are going to jive with it. Even if they just like your name, like it comes down to really simple stuff. Some people, there is going to be a growing animosity towards these major companies I'm not going to get into anything political or any of that jazz, but I think there's going to be a whole faction of people continuing to grow larger and larger who want to support local businesses just because they are local. they aren't going to want to be spending their money with Amazon just so Jeff Bezos can buy the moon. Consumers already appreciate the uniqueness, personal connection, and specialization of boutique over a global chain. I should have just read that. It's basically what I just said. As they're increasingly able to purchase delivery from these options, expect to see a rise in customized products, personalized offerings, and artisanal brands. These offerings aren't merely limited to monogrammed handbags or hand-tailored dresses. Even large home goods or appliances will see this shift. Next year, expect specialty retailers to make their mark. I've been hearing about all sorts of specialty stuff, even specialty home appliances, which is what they just mentioned here, which you'd think is weird, but it's like there's so many options now in the world that there's only a growing amount of options. Now there's going to be some companies who, like this one company, allows you to pick all the different knobs and colors and everything for your home appliances, your ovens, and what kind of handle do you want to have on the oven, and do you want it to be brass or brushed steel or chrome, like all these different color combinations and all this jazz. It's going to be going that route. Like, again, the millennials, they want it to be customized. They want it to be unique. And they are already, I think, eclipsing the baby boomers as the largest buying force. And as these millennials, and I'm really on the top, I think the higher end of the millennials as far as age, the older end, I should say. It doesn't sound as nice when I say no older end. I'm on the higher end. But as these millennials are, getting promoted in their jobs, they're already in the workforce. Don't forget the age of millennials. A lot of you guys probably are millennials. You'll be surprised. I was. But they will be making more money. These are going to be the people buying Porsches and Lamborghinis. They already are. So catering to them is going to behoove you. There's only fewer and fewer baby boomers. Delivery volume will soar. In 2020, e-commerce delivery volumes boomed. We all know why. Customers wanted to stay safe during the pandemic while still eating, drinking, and replicating their favorite social activities. The way consumers interact with food business is a perfect example of how these habits are here to stay, with delivery revenue surging 103% during the sandwich-demic. 103%. How many businesses do you know of soared 103% last year? Not a lot. Not restaurants. Not a lot. So, yes, very interesting. Thank you for the support. Thank you for watching. Boot ramp or boot tramp? I don't know. Boot ramp. All right, switch it back. Double click. All right. 2021, customers will order more delivery than ever before. Now that customers are comfortable with delivery, expect them to increase their frequency across industries. Once someone's already ordering food twice a week, it's only a small psychological shift to start ordering 3 times a week. And once customers are familiar with ordering in delivery in general, expect them to start ordering in new areas too. How many of you, or either you've said this or your friends have said this, like, why don't they just deliver? I don't know about where you live. I can have ice cream delivered at like 1 a.m. now, and I'm not in a major city. I'm in Boca Raton, Florida. Some of you may have heard of it. It is one of the more well-known cities in Florida for people who are outside of Florida, but it's not Miami. It's not Manhattan. It is not LA. Like you would expect, oh yeah, I live in Miami or New York, the cities that never sleep. Okay, 2 a.m. ice cream delivery. That sounds cool, but it's not super far-fetched. I'm in Boca. That's like, stuff shuts down at like 11 here, but it's still, with ghost kitchens and everything else popping up, like it's shifting to a delivery world. And as I was getting to, like, I don't know how many of you have said this or have heard friends say this, but as soon as you see something, it's like, oh, why can't I get this delivered? Why can't I get that? It would be great if they had this on delivery. You get ice cream delivered at 2 a.m. That's awesome. In food delivery, this will lead to businesses optimized for delivery, like ghost kitchens. Man, I should just read this stuff. It's like I mention it and then it's in the article. Like ghost kitchens or non-traditional prepared spaces in other areas 2022, retailers will adjust, leaning toward low rent options such as micro fulfillment centers that emphasize deliverability over the storefront. 5, the demand for smart delivery automation will accelerate. In delivery, like many areas, economic conditions favor automation. As the demand for delivery accelerates, the value of delivery automation increases too. In 2021, expect to see small movements toward delivery automation, such as increased funding for drones and autonomous vehicle companies. Mentioned this in other episodes, so check those out. Look at that, me being right again. Just kidding. That said, these shifts are likely to be small. The opportunities are exciting, but the challenges are large. Government regulation, for instance, is only nascent. That's a good word. I'm gonna have to look up. The car insurance companies are still deciding how to cover self-driving cars. There's a great book that I keep on suggesting on all of my channels that people read called "The Future is Faster Than You Think," and one of the things they discuss is how insurance is going to start being something that's like you pay by the mile. So the more you drive, we're going to shift more to a civilization or society that doesn't own cars. We'll lease cars, or we use a lot of automated cars, and the insurance companies are going to start switching to be competitive, to start offering these models where it's like, well, I paid for the whole month when you just, with us, you just pay by the mile. Drive less, pay less. I think that'll be pretty cool. Delivery is still in the early stages of this paradigm shift. Amazon, for instance, recently laid off a large proportion of its prime air drone delivery team, implying less enthusiasm for investing in this area for the time being. On the other hand, autonomous delivery companies Gatik and Neuro recently raised $25 million and $500 million respectively, the sort of money that will accelerate the industry innovation in coming years. I think what Amazon's probably doing, and you guys watch, they're not dumping money into it. They're like, you know what, let's let somebody else figure this out. It's not there yet. And maybe like Gatik and Neuro, probably Neuro, they raised $500 million. Let's let someone else figure it out. And once they figure it out, we'll just buy them because we're Amazon. Let's focus on getting to the moon. Next year, be on the lookout for interesting developments in autonomous vehicles, like more Waymo rides and promising delivery news from Tesla. But we'll have to wait a bit longer before automation takes delivery by storm. I don't think we're gonna have to wait as long as this guy thinks. Subscriptions so innovative delivery methods will rise. Subscriptions tend to instill loyalty in customers, increasing the likelihood that they purchase again. These models both increase efficiency and create reliable revenue. That's why I love the meal prep business. Get that residual. If you guys aren't on the subscription model, you guys need to get on that software. It's free software. The link's below. It has a subscription model in it, so you guys can automate your income, get that residual revenue going, so you can actually make some plans and forecasts and not have to call people and say, hey, did you want to get food this week? Oh, you did? Okay, good. Subscription, man, make it easy for everybody. Because a small percentage of customers typically drive a large percentage of sales, the successful business in 2021 will create new business models that increasingly revolve around delivery subscriptions. Delivery subscriptions, 2 key words right there. Meal prep business, get on that free software, get in the group, book a consultation. I actually have a lot of consultations booked this week. I think I have a few spots open, but that obviously shows it's rush time. It's gold rush season, baby. Successful retailers will realize that delivery isn't merely a choice between on-demand, subscription, or scheduled. Instead, your optimal offering depends on your customer and product. If you find the combination that works for you, you'll create happy and profitable customer habits. So that's all that article has for us. Dooley, what's going on with you? Let me see. I see your comment. Like I said, not everyone's in a fitness competition or even cares about macros that and such. I'm 100% on board with that, man. Mike's got a great shtick going. I dig what he's putting out. It's, the home cooking kind of feel of grandma food. people aren't calling him like, hey, what are the macros on that? They're like, man, that lasagna was just like grandma's. That was awesome, man. Putting out some chicken parms and all sorts of good stuff. And it's not unhealthy. It's not unhealthy. It's just not rabbit food. And the fact that, you know, it's made with love, there's a value in that you can't find in any kind of nutrition focused meal prep program, or you won't naturally find it there. But yeah, it's not all about health. It's about convenience. That's what I tell you guys. I mean, if you watch any of my videos long enough, you've probably heard me mention, you don't sell food, you sell convenience. It looks like food. It tastes like food. It smells like food. But what you sell is time that I don't have to go out and shop and cook and wash dishes and all that other jazz. You sell time, you sell convenience. I don't have to learn what keto is or what paleo is or how to make a bomb chicken parm. I just conveniently order what I want. I get what I want and move on with the stuff that I need to do instead of wasting time trying to get what I want to do done. And, you know, that's the stuff that is the first to be neglected, the wants. It's always the needs that get done. So in the rush of needs throughout a busy day of errands and everything else, people are compromising and going for convenience through a drive-through. Now, eventually that convenience is going to end up in a very inconvenient health issue where they're going to have a really serious talk with their doctor, or maybe something worse. And then they're going to be shifting, you know, their priorities. But unfortunately, not always in time. With meal prep companies being convenient, not having a crazy amount of preservatives, obviously going to be dramatically healthier, even if it doesn't have its macros on it, even if it isn't vegan, even if it isn't gluten-free. Like, a lot of people put meal prep businesses in this box where it's like, I'm really interested in food and cooking, but I don't want to get super healthy. You don't have to. If for some people, if that's the audience you want to target, great, go for it. I'm not saying not do it, but you're selling convenience. And for some of these people, especially high-risk people in 2020, we were selling safety. We were selling them a lifeline. We were selling them the ability to not have to go out and expose themselves. We had some people who had compromised immune systems going into this, and they were very appreciative of the services that we were able to provide for them. Contact-free delivery, you know, allowing them to avoid going shopping and going out in public. It's one less trip they got to make. So I don't think the need for that is ever going to go away. It might go down a little bit because there's not going to be headlines that are going to be pumping this stuff into our eyes and ears 24 hours a day. But for the foreseeable future, even those headlines are going to remain, and there's a lot of predictions they may even intensify. So this year, even if it is as bad or potentially worse as last year, for this business, it's not going to be as detrimental of a negative thing. It's going to be definitely going to influence the business, but there's a lot of opportunity in what may or probably will be coming. But yeah, so that's where I'll wrap it up. 38 minutes was definitely longer. I didn't think it'd take me that long to read an article, but I'm a really slow reader, I guess. Went off on a few tangents. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate the support. Again, check out the links below. I hope you guys are, a lot of you meal preppers are probably watching this when you should be cooking food. Don't you have deliveries going out? It's the beginning of the week. What's going on? Letting other people cook all the food? Just busting your chops. I know a lot of you guys will be catching this. I almost think go live because I was like, it's Sunday. I was like, I will watch it later. I will be going live sporadically. I just pop on whenever, so make sure your alerts are on. I did do an email blast beforehand, so make sure you're on the email list and everything else. Can't promise I'll send out an email list beforehand, depending on how organized and caffeinated I am that day. But if those alerts are on, you should be able to catch me live. Ask me questions in the comments. I had one question so far, and then just some awesome people supporting me, so I appreciate that. But I hope you guys have an amazing day, an amazing week, an incredible year. I look forward to helping you grow as a business, as an entrepreneur, and as an individual.